But yeah, another thing I wanted to ask you about was like, I've noticed a lot of super young people jumping on testosterone lately, like kids in their like early 20s. There's these dudes that walk around that gym that we were just in that look like bigger than him.
Yeah, bigger than
and
Arnold.
These kids are like 19 years old, and they don't look a day younger than 40. And I'm like, geez, I couldn't like imagine. And I know that stuff, it can't be good for you when you're super young like that. And I mean, so I know there's a difference between being good for you or being like hampering your lifestyle, because like one of the main downfalls of it, I know, is it makes you infertile, right? So like if you want to have kids, it's not a good idea to do it. But like, I wonder like what would be the other downsides of it long term if you're managing it. Obviously, if you're blasting like 500 milligrams a week, that's not going to be optimal for like your heart health and things like this. But like if you're doing like a normal dose of this stuff, and you know you've already addressed the reproductive stuff, and you don't want to have kids anymore, like what would be the downsides?
There's definitely a lot of drawbacks to the whole thing. One of them just being bigger. You know, having a lot of body weight. People tend to live longer when they're just smaller.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of centenarians, people that live to be over 100 years old, they're usually like 100 pounds or 120, 140 pounds. There's like little people.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, doing some of these things when you're young, it's good to like probably get a lot of these things out of your system. So if you're going to do it at any time, the body repairs itself pretty well. But you could be really tampering with something that you maybe don't fully understand. Yeah. Testosterone and steroids in general, they change like so many things about you. You know, people have kind of stated that, you know, the COVID vaccine changes your like DNA and things of that nature, right? Testosterone changes like everything about you, changes your personality, changes everything.
Really?
There was somebody that on my YouTube channel that I just got done with a run, and I posted like a video, and I was, you know, kind of stating what I did for the day. I was like, oh, I lifted and I, you know, got in a good run. Yeah. And someone's like, well, it's easier for you to say because you're on steroids. Like, you know, and I actually thought about it for a moment rather than like getting mad about it. I gave it a second, and I was like, you know what? That dude's kind of right, because steroids are actually motivating. People might not really know that, but like you think about anybody that you talk to who's had like low T, they're kind of like down. Yeah. You know, like, hey man, you want to go play some pickleball? Like, I don't know. Right. Like, hey, you want to, you know, play some video games? Like, you know, they're just like low energy. They're kind of just not the same. Right. But it can flip a switch for some people when they take some testosterone. Or what about the person that maybe their whole life, maybe they grew up a little bit smaller than everybody. Maybe they grew up like kind of skinny. They kind of got pushed around, right? Well, now they do a little jujitsu and they get in the gym a little bit and they take a little testosterone. They're going to feel like a completely different person. Your POV is going to change. Your point of view on everything is going to change massively when you have a little bit more testosterone in you, because you're going to be stronger, you're going to be bigger. And then there's also another side of it. Like if you start to take something like trenbolone or some of these things, changes like so many things. It changes a lot of your senses. It changes the way that you smell things. It changes the way that you taste. It'll literally, it can really literally change your life. You'll hear people talk about how angry they are when they're on it. Now, everyone doesn't get the same effects. Everyone doesn't get the same side effects and stuff like that. But probably one of the biggest issues with steroids in general, with all of it and these young kids taking it, is the addictive side. That's going to be hard to like.
Do you think they're addictive? Testosterone?
They are for me. I've been on it for a really long time.
What specifically is addictive about it?
Just the whole feel that you get from it. Oh,
really?
You know, because I've definitely considered, I'm 48, and I definitely have considered, I'm like, maybe I should just come off. But now I'm like, well.
Oh, really? Even in your 40s, you consider like, coming off?
Yeah, and now I'm obviously on like way lower dosages and all that stuff. And I get my blood work checked, and I try to do it in a healthy way and all that stuff. But I'm just like, maybe I should just, because I've been doing them since I was 25 years old. So that's, okay. You know, how much research is there on people like
20
me?
20 years?
Yeah, how much research is there on, Arnold, right?
He's like almost 80.
Right. There's a lot of people that have been doing it for a long time. But even, like, let's just hypothetically say that I stopped for 20 years. Well, I start taking it again when I'm 70. if I thought I needed it. You know what I mean?
Right. That's how I feel about these things.
Yeah.
I tried testosterone for like 4 months about 2 years ago, and I felt tired. I didn't feel great. Honestly, I probably thought I felt worse on it. I don't know what it was, but I definitely felt like fatigued all the time, just tired all the time.
Previously, did you have like low testosterone, and did you get your testosterone checked while you were taking it?
My testosterone I got it done before, and it was like 750. And then I got it done in the middle of it, and it went up to like 1500. I don't know. I mean, I that's a lot more. Obviously,
Yeah,
it's
right,
more than
right,
double.
right.
But
It can make you feel lethargic in some ways because it does make you. It just makes you like bigger, and it almost like, I don't want to say it makes you slower because there's so many different outcomes you can have in accordance to like how you're training and everything else. And they can certainly make you faster because they can make you more powerful, make you more explosive. But they will also cause, like if you take them for a handful of weeks, it might also cause some water retention.
Yes.
And your blood pressure might go up a little bit. You might just feel a little bit more tired. So
that's what Dom was telling me when I tried it. He's like, do your blood pressure all the time. Just keep track of that. And I did that. I mean, I like whenever I try to investigate things like this, I make sure I do like more than enough homework to make sure that I'm not going to fuck myself over. And the blood work and stuff like that. But so like the fatigue stuff was really weird to me. I didn't feel more motivated either, because I heard people talking about more motivation increases and things like this. And the other thing was, it killed my dick. People talk about it boosting their libido. It fucking drove mine into the ground.
Was that all you were taking, was testosterone?
Yeah.
It like I said, all drugs are like a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
You know, erectile dysfunction happens in a lot of people from testosterone. I don't even know if everyone understands all the mechanisms behind that. I do know that when your testosterone goes up, a lot of times your estroidal, like your estrogen, will want to kind of like.
But that boosts libido, right? Estrogen.
It can. Yeah, it can. And also if you drive your estrogen way down, that can hurt you. But I think if your estrogen's way up,
that's protective, right? That's like protective of your heart.
It can be like heart. Yeah, it can be like heart protective. But I think if your estrogen gets like out of hand, whether your testosterone is blasted through the ceiling, or whether your testosterone is really low, you're probably not going to feel great from either one of those. It's like this thing about being in the middle, and so I think we're just at the very beginning stages of like figuring a lot of this out.
Yeah,
I think that in the future it's not just going to be like a shot of testosterone. I think that like each person that seeks this out will probably get a shot of something that maybe has 3 or 4 different things in it, so that because I mean that's what bodybuilders are doing now. And when I started years ago,
what do you 3 or 4 things? What do you mean?
So I was a professional wrestler for a handful of years, like jumping off the top rope type stuff.
Really?
And when I was doing pro wrestling, we basically would say that if you're not on 3 things at one time, that you're natural.
That's fucking awesome.
So yeah, it's like you take testosterone, equipoise, and some like Anavar or something like that. So
and Quaaludes.
Those other drugs, those other compounds, like bodybuilders are meatheads for sure, but they're also really smart. Those other compounds can, so if you do it strategically and you're paying attention to what you're doing, you're not just blasting all 3 of them, you can lower the testosterone quite a bit. You could take like Primobolan or Masteron. I don't know if this will get like thrown off of YouTube or whatever, but you could take these other things.
This is not medical advice, people.
Yeah, exactly. You can take these things, with testosterone and not have to take the same amount. So you can get the positive effects of testosterone. So like if we forgot your first experience with testosterone and we redid it and you said what your goals were, we can appropriately dose testosterone and like something like a Primobolan, because a Primobolan or Masteron, both of them have a tendency to lower your estrogen a little bit. Not crush it, but just keep it in line so that you stay lean.
Right.
And then also you're not going to get the negative sides from either one of them because you're taking like half the dosage of each one. And you would do that maybe like twice a week or something, and you'd have like really crazy, phenomenal results. So when I started, the first time I ever took anything, I think I took testosterone and Deca together. That's a nandrolone. And I took those together, and I think I gained like 25 pounds. And it was like in a really short period of time. So back to like good and bad, like 25 pounds in a short period of time.
That's a lot.
It's not very healthy, right?
No.
Like your body's like, yo, like what's going on? But I felt awesome.
Right.
And a 45-pound plate felt like a Frisbee. Felt super strong. Like strength was going through the roof, and then veins started kind of like popping out everywhere. I was like, this is awesome. And so that's the addictive side that I'm talking about. Because those kids that you're talking about at the gym, they're not just taking testosterone. You know, they're taking a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, most of them, many of them probably don't even really have good access to testosterone. They're probably
that's another thing I was going to say.
They're probably taking other shit.
They're buying their testosterone like underground.
Right.
Like, they're just buying shit somebody's probably making in a bathtub or something like that. They're not getting this stuff from a pharmacy or anything like that.
And when these guys share like what their goals are, then the guy selling shit to them is probably saying, oh, you need the orals and you need this and this. And they're more toxic.
Yeah.
Like they're flat out, the oral steroids are.
And these kids also never did their blood work. So they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They don't care. They're just excited. They just want to get,
exactly.
They just want to be jacked. I mean, look at how many people we go online. It seems like everyone's jacked, but
yeah,
as we talked about in the gym, only like 5% of the population even works out at all.